Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
You know, before the show, I said, let's jump on it. I'll never say that again.
The Orlando Science Center, we've got Kids Night on 4/15 this Saturday, and then $12 day the next day on Sunday, 4/16, and you can enjoy the Orlando Science Center for $12.
Yeah, that's half off. I'm a member. I go there a lot. And if you've never checked it out, this would be the perfect time for you to get over there, save a little money, and see all that they have to offer there. And it is a lot.
Yeah, you can't even do it all in one day.
No.
Like, you know,
well,
that's
you
the
can,
good
but
thing.
you're going to miss out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So go there and check it out. And again, like Tom said, that $12 day is going on the 16th.
Also, if you want to join our texting service, just text BDM. The letters BDM to
Bravo Delta. What's the M?
Maverick.
Maverick? Is it Bravo Delta Maverick?
I don't know. It's one of our trivia questions that we probably will miss.
No, I like that. I think Bravo Delta Maverick will work for me. Mongoose.
844-866-6326. That's 844-TOM and Dan.
Yep.
It's our phone number.
TOMNDAN.
And once you text BDM, it'll text you back. Do you want to join the service?
Yes.
And then you'll be, you'll receive texts about important events.
Not very often, actually. So much, in fact, that we pay for this thing a lot and we don't use it enough.
Yeah.
Right? Like we pay like monthly and we'll use like once a month maybe.
Yeah.
We're not going to.
It's more than you think, dude.
I
see the bill come through and I'm like, God.
$119 a month. And we could have
I'm like, I could text anybody for free.
We could have had a storage unit for what we pay.
Yeah. Is it worth the storage? I want the storage unit.
I want the storage unit,
because I got a lot of garbage.
I'm getting more garbage. Now that my garage is super clean and I got the floor done, then people started clowning me. They're like, oh, look at all those boxes on the floor. And I'm like, you mother. I was like, I'll get those boxes off the floor. You'll see. I'll get some shelves. You'll see my shelves, you mother.
Just don't put paint on the shelves.
No, I'm getting shelves, and I'm going to stack everything, and I'm going to get everything off the floor. And then you'll see. You'll walk in there, and you'll be able to break dance in that mother effer.
Could you get a van of some sort and park it in your back parking lot, but it has no motor or anything?
No.
And then store it full of garbage?
No, because Andrea would call the...
On you.
Oh, yeah, on my
Oh, no.
We have people from the apartments that do that all the time, and then they park their junk cars. I don't know how these people have enough. How can you have a car that you hate so much, and you're so rich that you have a car that you can just let fall apart, the wheels go flat, and you just keep stuffing Wendy's bags?
Have you met my brother?
No, but how can you do
people.
that? Why not just sell the car and let somebody use it?
Even rich people pee in jars.
Write that down.
All right. You ready for some nerd jokes?
Is that what we're doing?
Okay, first,
Hey
actually,
guys, I'm here too. What's
Ross
up?
is here.
Oh my God.
Poor Ross.
And Ross has a show April 22nd.
That's correct. Yeah, 2 Saturdays from today-ish, the 422, and it's a special event at the Bull and Bush. It's $10 at the door. It's Nick Pupo from AMC's *Halt and Catch Fire*.
I love
It's
Nick,
his
man.
one-man show.
Wow.
A little bit of comedy up front, and then Nick Pupo's one-man show. I think first time in Orlando. See him before it's big.
Oh man, I love he's.
We need to talk to Nick again.
We do need to talk to Nick because I've been following his Instagram words with Pupo. It's my favorite thing on Instagram.
He's
a funny cat,
and he's in a lot of stuff now. Like I personally liked AMC's *Halt and Catch Fire*. I thought he was really good in that, but like he's been in a bunch of shows.
Oh,
now.
he was in that. Did he play Nikola Tesla or something? It was something huge, and then he was like the main guy in like a reenactment or something, and then they had him. I forget what it was, but I was like, oh wow, I know that guy.
Him and Preacher and Heather Shaw, they've blown up so big I can't keep track anymore. I don't even like Preacher's doing a tour with Howie Mandel now.
Yeah, I saw
like,
that.
and
He
Nick's-
was just at the UFC fights this past weekend.
Yeah, hanging out with Kid Rock and Trump.
Heather's everywhere. Nick Pupo's everywhere. I can't keep track of all these people.
Yeah, so go hang out at the old Bull and Bush.
Yep.
Preacher's rich, right? Millionaire rich, or
I would imagine. I tried to book him. Remember when like we were all locked down and Mo DeWitt from the DeWitt Law Firm, justcallmo.com. You remember he put on like a comedy jam on his website.
Yeah.
I tried to book Preacher for that, and at that point he had an agent, and he was like, "I'm really sorry, but you have to go through my agent for everything." I was like, "No worries, I understand." And his agent was a This is ACT. His agent was very good at being an agent, which means he's an awful human being. And Preacher was Mo was willing to spend money. Mo was willing to come off a check, and Preacher was well out of our price range.
Yeah, okay, all right.
By the way, the price that was quoted, I was like, I'm sorry, you realize this is for like a 30-minute video. that Preacher could record in his restroom at his house and that will be aired on Mo's website one time and then deleted forever. You understand that you quoted me the price for that? And he's like, yeah.
That's I don't want to do it price. It's got to be right, or it's just a standard.
Yeah.
You don't go below the standard. Right?
He's on a pretty huge tour right now.
He's touring with Howie Mandel. Like, obviously he couldn't afford him.
You know, I like just quoting an insane price for everything. One's got to hit one time, right?
You would think.
I'm going to start doing that with our advertising.
I mean, guys used to do that with girls in the clubs when you were trying to, meet somebody. You would just say enough bizarre things, and occasionally it'd work, right?
But there's also, like, the guy who puts $500 on his recliner at a yard sale. He's like, I just need to sell the one recliner. You're never going to do it. It's never going to happen.
No one's ever going to pay.
No, not going to happen.
Let's do some Nerd Jock.
All right, Nerd Jock time is now.
Jock. Nerds. Jock. Nerds. Jock. Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
It's Nerd Jock with Mr. Willie. How you doing?
Mr. Willie? Who the hell's that?
That sounded weird.
The Chili Willie joke. I thought we were talking about.
That was off air.
Oh, that was off air? I thought we were talking about that on the show. All right.
It's all blended together.
Listen,
you're
got to
gonna
him.
end
The
up like
possum brain.
you're gonna end up like mush, just like me. I got nothing but mush up here.
Encephalitis up there.
Nothing but mush.
See, now I want to bully Thomas instead of Dan. I was going to bully Dan today.
Why are you gonna bully me?
Well, because I found a good story that it's like
Bully
you
me, I don't
in a
care.
past life, because it's like nerd history.
Okay.
I'm a history nerd. I love history. I love hardcore history and all that stuff. And
Not good enough for trivia with the
I'm
old
actually pretty good. We did okay.
president
we did third
question.
yesterday, last week, right?
Yeah, EJ has his moments.
Yeah.
He will occasionally tell you an answer is completely
He
wrong.
will.
And
I
insist
will.
on
I
it.
have been insistent that I'm wrong.
Every
but
once
yeah.
in a while, he does good too.
Like if it's nicknames of professional players, nailed that. Like when we went first place that 1 week, yeah, I think it hit every single
EJ, you
one.
got to stop referencing a trivia game that me and you played.
Nobody knows what's happening right now.
Yeah.
EJ,
Off to a great start of the sports segment. Yeah, this is great.
at
the
trivia,
don't care.
at trivia like 6 weeks ago, there was 6 rounds, and each round had a sports nickname question, and EJ got all 6 of them. Is what he's referencing.
Yeah.
So you know sports nickname.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll help you.
We came in first place that week. That's
That's
why.
true.
Yeah,
That's
so-
Tuck that in your.
I had my moments. Leave me alone.
Bennigan's gift card. Anyway,
All right, what do you got?
Well, I was going to talk about Charles John Joffin. Do you know who that is?
Charles John Joffin?
Yes.
Of course I know who Charles
CJJ.
John Joffin is, you
Yeah.
idiot.
He was the cook on the Titanic.
No,
and
I didn't
And he
know.
survived. And he was like 5'3", and he was drunk the whole time.
I am
That's why-
Orlando's
that's
Charles
why he
John
survived.
Joffin.
He was drunk while he was supposed to get on boat like 10, and he was too drunk and he didn't get on it. So
Well, how did he live then?
he ended up being like he went in the water at the last second. And he was so drunk that he didn't have a heart attack and stuff like that.
Now
And he
that would be
hang
me.
on his boat.
I have thought
Yeah.
about the Titanic before, and I would want to be the standing on the last tip of the smokestack as it's
He
going
said
in.
it was like walking down, like he went going down an elevator, and then when he hit the water, he just kind of relaxed and then swam away, and then got to like a collapsible boat and got on it, hanged on,
guy's
and
a
he was put in the
genius.
water, and he's the last one that will go in the water and the
Charles
last
John
first one to survive.
Joffin, the little person trunk.
Yeah,
how he survived?
he
is
was drunk. He was
got,
full of whiskey.
He got on a boat. It had nothing to do with alcohol. And Ross is going to love this. I saw on Mythbusters that alcohol or being intoxicated does not help you regulate your body
No.
temperature or be warmer.
It
somehow.
only
It's
does
bad
that.
for you.
It
It's
only
bad.
does
Yeah.
that.
In
It
fact,
releases heat.
it actually
Yeah.
is worse.
It
So
is.
being drunk in cold water, you'll die of hypothermia faster.
But they're saying that he didn't panic because
Yeah.
he was
Right.
drunk, and that's what saved his life.
Yeah, I
All
guess.
right, you could make an argument for that, but I don't know how you test it.
Or he randomly got to a lifeboat.
Well, he survived 2 hours treading
Yeah,
water.
He was 2 hours in the water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I
But-
guess it does make time. Like you're like, oh, hold on a second, how long have I been doing this? You know, like, this is be like 15 minutes. You've been out here 2 hours, you drunk. All right, you got me.
So
But he was a tiny guy. I think that's why
All
he
right.
survived. And it was like he was 5'3".
Okay,
So, yeah.
he's 1 inch taller than me.
Yeah.
He was a mammoth of a man.
all right, first story.
Okay. Did you guys go see the Super Mario Brothers movie?
I did not. I'm not a baby.
Did you go with your kids?
I'm
Dude,
going
you
to
have
take
to
them.
go.
I've heard it's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
I saw
very
it.
fan service, and I really enjoyed it. Did-
Movie of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow,
I've had
movie of the
peaches
year.
stuck in my head.
I mean, it's
for
not
the
better
past
than the
year.
John Leguizamo one, right?
Is this a bit of now? Give me a little help on this. Is this a bit of a comeback for Jack Black?
I don't know if it's
Was
a
he gone?
comeback. No.
I mean,
been-
kinda was,
It's been the
right?
week of Jack Black because he was also in The Mandalorian this week, too.
You're not supposed to talk.
That's okay. It's
It's
been
all
all
over
over the
social
place.
media.
There's no
All
way in and
right.
out.
I didn't know that.
Oh, get outta
You
here.
ruined it. Also, I like the original TV show Mario, where it's live
With
action.
Lou Albano?
With
the Mario
I
dance?
thought that was Ron Jeremy.
Hey, it's me, I'm Ron Jeremy.
I thought it was Ron Jeremy and
Hey,
some.
don't do drugs. I'm a pumping your mom.
I'm
Hey,
going to get dementia and not go to jail for what I should be in jail for.
I'm disgusting.
So is it CGI?
No, it's
It's
animated.
an animated
yeah.
movie.
Okay. Well, by
But
CGI?
he means like, is it computer
It's computer
animated?
animated. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of more kind of Pixar, but it's
he
Universal.
means,
I only-
is it like Aladdin? Or is it like the Muscle Man
It's
video
kind of like The
game man?
Incredibles.
What's that guy beat him up, Max?
Yeah.
Oh my
Wreck-It
That's what I
Ralph.
was like. They don't know. God,
know.
you know me. God.
I do.
I've answered all the questions. Yeah, because like Jack Black's in it, Seth Rogen's in it. I'm trying to think. Keegan Micah Key's in it. Anna Taylor-Joy.
Key.
I can never say his name right. I just go through it real fast.
What's his name?
Sam.
Kegel's Michael Keegan's?
Did you watch the Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
I have not.
Okay. Have you?
Yes.
Which
Yeah,
is
I've
better
watched.
because Sonic was really good to me.
Oh, this is better than Sonic.
This
I'm
is
hearing.
better than Sonic.
It's better than Sonic?
Yes.
Well, this is star. I mean, the only star
My
power that
wife had a good
Sonic
time in
really
this movie.
had was Jim Carrey.
Yeah, but he
Or
did
in my
all-
case, I say Heather Shaw. But like, just because of the Orlando
Cyclops
connection, got to
was in
keep
it, too.
pushing it. Got to
Yeah.
keep pushing it.
She was in Sonic?
She's famously looks like Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Oh.
She's been in like interviewed.
You just broke
Well,
his
that's
brain.
not nothing. You're the Ron Jeremy you look like. Anyway, so you think it's better than
like
Sonic?
Jeff Howell, kind of
Yeah,
the original one.
Because Sonic was good.
I would say that Sonic, from what I'm hearing,
Sonic is
I've
fantastic,
only seen
but
Sonic.
this is better.
But I have heard that this is like 10 rungs better than Sonic.
Okay,
Yeah.
like the story's really
Great
good.
story.
Yeah, and Chris
Um,
Pratt, his voice, you don't even notice it. It's one of those nothings that everyone was freaking
That's
out
good.
about. Yeah.
Also, like, kids are gonna enjoy it, obviously, but for anyone that grew up like playing Mario throughout
Yeah.
the 80s and 90s,
All
there's
right.
tons of like hidden little Easter eggs in there.
Does Toad do a lot of like,
Soundtrack's amazing.
Kinda. Yeah.
Yoshi falls in a hole.
Yoshi's
Spits an
barely
egg
in it.
out. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Are there any characters from, without spoiling it, are there any characters from the Super Mario universe that you expected to be in there, but you didn't
Wario.
really see them?
I can't say that without spoiling.
Okay.
Wario, Luigi. Yeah.
No.
But it's good.
If they
Yeah.
really want to continue the Mario tradition, they should have the second one, and it's just a completely different movie. Because
Oh,
Mario
yeah.
2 was like
Yeah.
a completely different
Right.
game
Right.
from Super Mario.
It was a
Right.
dream, wasn't it?
They
was
came up with
all a
something,
dream.
but you
We
could like
used to read
jump
Mortal
behind the
Magazine.
background and stuff. It was a completely different game.
Yeah.
It is. I know I've said this before, but it's the first time that I can remember in history that, and maybe the last, because of things are so diluted, that we grew up with a character like Mario and the whole Mario family, and we loved it at 10 years old, let's say, and now our kids love it at 10, 30 years later or whatever it is. Like, we both enjoyed the same characters the same age, and that's doesn't seem like it's ever happened, because before that, like, no way we were watching anything in the 80s and 90s that our parents watched 30 years prior to that. It all,
Hell
SNL.
yeah, we were.
or
My
whatever.
dad did nothing but show me like Flash Gordon
Yeah,
and
I
But
was
not
gonna-
the
Buckaroo
same-
Banzai and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was
But you
going to
were-
say that my dad would
Yeah.
share with me, like Tom and Jerry was
Absolutely.
my dad. Warner
Godzilla,
Brothers
yeah,
was my dad.
absolutely.
I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying,
I
am.
but it is different. It is. It's totally different.
Don't do it, Ross.
But what I'm saying, it wasn't the exact. Maybe it's
No.
an evolution. They showed you like some cartoon, like the Steamboat Willie,
Right.
is a different version 30 years later of Mickey Mouse. Yes, they're both Mickey Mouse.
In the
I'll-
chat, Barbie and G.I. Joe's.
Yeah, G.I. Joe
Yeah.
I was going to bring up. I watched the exact same
X-Men.
Warner
G.I.
Brothers
Joe's-
cartoons that my dad did when he was my age.
Well-
Bugs Bunny and the Coyote and all that was exactly the same. They were the exact same cartoons.
The Bugs Bunny, the
But
I
like
guess.
all of the Batman, Superman, that's all the same crap. I mean, all of
yeah.
the thing
Yeah.
that my dad liked. I mean, like
That
you like
campy
Batman,
Adam
I like
West Batman,
You
yeah.
know, like.
I guess the
He liked the Lone
superheroes.
Ranger. I like the Lone Ranger. I mean, the Lone Ranger. I was too
Was the
young.
Lone Ranger though out? Was there a new version
Yeah.
of the Lone Ranger?
There was a new
in the
80s
80s
version of the Lone Ranger that I was, dude. I love the damn Lone Ranger.
And then Johnny Depp ruined it, right?
He did
Star
ruin
Wars?
it. Sam,
Wars,
oh man,
yeah.
I'm having a freak out. Can you look 1980s Lone Ranger? and see who's in it. Because, like, I remember he was like a good-looking dude, and he had, like, good, swoopy, like, late 70s, early 80s hair. And, man, I loved me some Lone Ranger. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
It reminded me of, like, the A-Team. That, like,
Yes,
the era.
it
kinda,
was
with Roy,
very...
Yeah, Roy,
that's
it wasn't Roy
perfect.
Rogers, but it was, like...
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't Roy Rogers. It wasn't...
He was the original one, right?
He was.
Yeah.
But this was, like...
But he showed up. He
I don't
showed
know
up
if
in
Roy
the-
was
in
the
the 80s
original Lone Ranger.
But I
don't
know Roy Rogers showed up in the 80s version of it.
I think he did.
Because I think he was, like, the older, like, statesman that kind of
Oh,
teach
somebody in
them
the
stuff.
chat room said Zorro. Yeah, I like Zorro, too.
That Antonio Banderas one wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, and then I remember watching, and man, this is talk about a movie I wasn't supposed to watch. I believe I watched a Zorro movie called Zorro
The Gay Blade.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
What?
And it was about a gay Zorro brother. It was
Yeah.
like Zorro, and then his gay brother, gay Zorro.
Yeah.
Like gay Zorro.
Really?
Yeah, it's called
And
The Gay
when?
Blade.
That's progressive.
I watched it in the 80s with
Yeah.
my mom and dad.
It
and it's
really
got
wasn't.
George Papard. No, not George Papard. It's got
Yeah,
the
fair enough.
tan guy.
I'm trying.
Not George Harrison.
Hamilton,
George
right?
Hamilton.
That's it.
It's got George Hamilton, and it's called Zorro the Gay Blade.
Yeah.
He was like a pink Zorro.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was
Blue
like,
Tops
and
line
that's,
right
and
there.
that was, and I remember asking my mom and dad, and they're like, yeah, he likes the men, or like whatever, and they're like, okay.
This is in the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That
Like,
is crazy.
It was pretty,
Yeah.
like,
I-
forward, too.
Sorry, I
yeah.
didn't mean to tangent.
No,
but
I
Zorro
totally
the
agree
Gay
with you.
Blade, look it up. It's a real thing, and it was very progressive. You couldn't do that now. But you
Oh, didn't
take
they-
Kid Rock to see
Yeah,
Zorro Gay
God, he
Blade.
loses his mind.
Didn't they freak
starts
out
shooting
in
cans.
the 80s when someone kissed a black alien on Star Trek?
That was back in the 60s.
That was back in the
Yeah.
60s,
Oh,
yeah.
We're talking
That was
about the
Kurt.
80s.
That was
the
Kurt
good old
and,
80s.
yeah.
Anyway, next
Oh
door.
yeah,
Okay,
he wasn't gay. Somebody in the chat room saying he wasn't gay. I don't know. I thought he was gay.
I think
in
it
the
was
movie.
just because it was supposed to be Happy Blade, I think.
Yeah. I was about to call B. There's no. I was like, they made
No,
gays
I
are
think
the
it
80s.
was he was gay.
That seems too progressive for the 80s.
That's what I thought.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we freak out now over.
Well, then what was it about?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. There's
I was
no
just
way I'm
going
going to be
along.
able to
I was
remember
just
it. I
ending
was
with
a
you.
child.
I maybe saw it on like TBS, like
In 1840s Madrid, Spain, Don Diego de la Vega is in bed with a married woman. They are caught by her husband, Garcia, and Diego must sword fight with him and his 5 brothers. During the altercation, Diego's mute servant, Paco, reads a letter from Diego's father ordering Diego to return to California. Okay.
Where's the gay?
So far, no gay.
it was like 80s Goofy. You know?
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like a.
It was like
It was like a parody movie.
Naked
It's-
Gun.
Yeah.
It says, Zexy, zany, sensational.
Oh, I gotta go
God.
revisit it. Maybe he wasn't gay, but I remember I asked my parents, and my dad said he was a gay. He was a gay Zorro. So my dad didn't know either. He probably didn't even watch it.
I guess we should do the thing that just came out today. The Marvel's teaser trailer just came out today.
Okay.
This morning. So, like, by the time you're listening to this, it's probably
Here
been out
is
for
a
like
little
12 hours.
of Marvel Studios' The Marvels.
It connects Kamala Khan and
hell are you doing?
Miss Marvel and Captain
Entering
Marvel
the jump point perimeter. I'm gonna get you some readings, Fury.
and Scarlet Witch's
Hello?
Vision
Hello?
Quest or whatever it is.
Captain Rambo?
So they're in space.
Yeah,
Space
and
suit.
the two characters just switch positions, and basically all 3 of them are connected now. Like between Photon, Captain Marvel, and Kamala Khan.
Too confusing.
Oh,
I know.
it's, I know it's a lot of stuff. It links 3 shows all together.
Well, it-
2 shows in a movie all
Okay.
together.
On the timeline, where does this fall?
This
Because that's how
falls
I'm watching. them.
after Kamala Khan, so it's after Endgame.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I haven't got to Infinity War yet with my sons.
No, it's after that.
Most of
So,
your
okay.
stories
Yeah.
are when you argue with Sam. That is an Infinity War. It never stops. It keeps
I think
going.
it's a
It keeps
more
going.
than anything. Yeah.
So he was gay. His name was Bunny Wigglesworth.
Yeah, see, I told you. I
Gay
told you.
Zorro's name was Bunny Wiggles.
George Hamilton was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for playing the dual role of Don Diego de la Vega, Zorro, and his gay twin brother,
go.
Bunny Wigglesworth.
Bam, little daddy. I know my gay sword fighters.
See, I never knew that Zorro was Fox in Spanish.
And
for
the
longest time.
W way harder to carve into a person's chin. Yeah.
Unless you just lay on your side. That's a Z. Okay.
Next story.
Okay. Well, then we got to talk about all the new Star Wars things that were just announced at Star Wars Celebration. Have you seen all that stuff? Like Ahsoka's trailer just came out. Skeleton Crew, The Acolyte. There's so much stuff coming out for Star Wars. and some of it's taken.
I wish they just
Slow
stop.
down.
I wish they
I
just
know.
stop and be
So
like,
much
okay,
stuff.
hey, I wish this is what I want from Star Wars. Hey guys, we're gonna hold off for about 2.5 years. Goodbye. That's what I want. That's what I want from Star Wars.
They're doing
We're
that
gonna
with the
hold off and
movies.
just let you guys consume all this garbage that we've made, and even the stuff. What is it? You got the Bad
Batch.
The Bad Batch,
which just ended the
It's too
season,
much,
which one of
man.
the saddest episodes of an animated show I've seen in a while.
If they're
It got to me.
If they're making it, people want it, and people cannot stop
Well,
consuming
how do
this
people
content.
have this amount of
I don't
time?
know.
I haven't even started the last Mandalorian
Me neither.
season.
No, we haven't started it yet.
There are a
see, I haven't
lot
got to-
of people with time.
And I think I'm kind of out of it. I think I do this with shows, and this is me. It's not them. I did it with Game of Thrones.
Oh.
I've done it with Breaking Bad. I did it with The Sopranos. I do it with everything that's critically acclaimed and
You
awesome.
burn out of it?
I burn out. I watched 2 seasons of Mandalorian. I'm like, that's enough. It's enough.
They did a Game of Thrones like Ed Sheeran with Mandalorian this season.
Oh, they put him in there.
They put someone else in it, and it kind of takes you out a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Ross, you'll understand. EJ too. If we didn't have kids, we'd have a lot more time.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't have
Yeah.
kids, but I don't have that much time to watch all
I
the
have kids and I
stuff.
make time.
You work a
but I
lot,
also
though.
But you do
send them to bed.
a ton of other things.
Yeah,
you don't
that's
just sit
true.
around and watch only
Yeah.
movies. But if you were into Star Wars or whatever Marvel, like
I mean, there's tons of stuff I'd love to watch. I just don't
Yeah.
have the time.
yeah.
I also have this thing though. There's a lot of stuff that I am into, but like I have some sort of disease where I won't even start stuff. Like if they came out with a show right now and they're like, it's classic Vespas that are being electrified by other guys in Orlando, and they'll help you side by side, help you do your own electric conversion kit to your Vespa, and there's only 3 episodes, and I'd be like, I don't have time for it. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't watch it. Like it's like, or I get up in my head about like, oh, I don't have time for that, or I can't start that, I'll never finish it. So
My problem with deep cut Marvel stuff now, deep cut Star Wars stuff now, like my whole childhood, all I did was read Marvel comics.
Yep.
All my childhood,
So you know most of the stories.
All I did was read Timothy Zahn novelizations of Star Wars books, and then the further continuation of all that stuff. So like
So this is
now,
old hat
So
that
you'll
you-
know what
Well,
the heir to the Empire is.
they're just going in and there's all this stuff that like as a nerd, I read all this stuff when I was a kid, and they're just going in and mining it and taking the stuff they want, making the rest of it woke and ruining all this crap I spent my childhood on. Like now I spend so much time reading novelizations of Star Wars books, but that's all non-canon now.
So
yeah.
but they are farming, and they're making,
And they're
starting
mining
to make
it, and they're
stuff
taking the
canon.
pieces they want.
Like Admiral Thrawn, he's going to be in the new season of Ahsoka.
So they're
And
just
he
picking
was a
and
huge
choosing the
story.
legends of
Yeah.
what they want
They're-
to use,
yeah.
and then almost in a Chat GPT style,
Yes.
creating their new stories out of pieces they
They're
already
changing
have.
it
Correct.
slightly to fit the universe. Yeah,
Oh,
because like
see,
Admiral,
this gonna
if you
play right
saw-
into my argument about comics being better, and this is why Walking Dead was ruined for me. The books ruined it for
Oh,
me.
the books
Exactly.
are so much
Yeah.
better
Exactly,
than
same
the
thing.
story. Yeah.
I'm the same way.
But for me, I've always wanted this stuff. Like when I was a kid, I would have never dreamed of Morbius getting a movie, and they did it.
Right.
So it's like I'm living the stuff that I wanted as a kid. So I'm like, okay, I'm good with this.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
I get it.
Because back then, it's like they had a horrible Captain America movie or a
It was
horrible
real
Nick
bad.
Fury movie.
Or Spider-Man. Was
yeah,
real
or
bad.
horrible Spider-Man
The
from
original
the 70s.
one from the
yeah.
70s was
yeah.
garbage.
all right, next story.
So
Move on.
I'm trying to keep it going.
You're just mad we ruined your point. Kids do watch old stuff.
yeah,
I'm still working on the argument.
because
It's almost there.
Because the Star Wars Celebration, they did like put all this stuff. Like the Heir to the Empire movie is Dave Filoni's movie that's going to combine Ahsoka, the Skeleton Crew, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and it's all going to be this final movie. That's
I'm just
gonna
surprised
release in theaters.
this isn't just overwhelming for folks.
It's
It is.
reaching the
Oh,
point.
yeah.
We're gonna get
Yeah.
the
Believe
critical
me, if you
mass,
haven't
and it's
seen
gonna stop.
Rebels, the
Yeah,
cartoon,
I know what you're talking about.
you
Yeah.
won't understand what's going on in Ahsoka. I'll tell you that right now. Like, go watch Rebels now before Ahsoka comes
Yeah,
out.
but see, I don't want anything to be that specific where I have to, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't get the first 7 books?
You're never going to understand
Yeah, I'll be
this.
like, well,
Yeah.
this isn't for me then. Probably not for me.
When are they gonna make a good Banicula movie? Banicula, just sitting there.
Maybe make it adult. That was one of my mother's most beloved childhood books was Banicula,
It's
man.
really good.
That is a I don't know, it was a curse crazy. That is a great book.
It's a really good one.
I imagine though, there's a lot of people like me that I wasn't into any of this stuff. As you make fun of EJ and all this, but I'm into it now
'Cause you're
oh,
kids.
because
That's
my
like me
kids
with
are into
baseball.
it.
I was never into it. I'm
Right.
into it
Yeah.
now.
But it's like, so my kids got me, and I enjoy watching it with
if
them.
they're having a good time, like when I went to the Super Mario movie, I think I had a better time because my daughter was losing her mind, so excited about it.
Tons of kids.
And it made me so happy. Like
People
she
brought,
was enjoying
like,
it. Yeah.
babies.
Don't bring babies.
No,
but-
no, no.
Yeah.
If your kid can't understand what they're saying, don't bring your kid. I hate
Yeah,
that.
they
There
can't
was
like
like
say
a-
like
It's
I
wasting time.
enjoy
There was like
this.
a
and,
4-month-old behind me. And I'm
Oh.
like,
They don't like that. It's too
No.
loud, man. What are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. It's so loud. It's IMAX.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be bringing your 4-month-old to the IMAX. Good God.
It probably was their only option. I
Yeah.
imagine. Like, they probably
well,
Get a
didn't have any
babysitter.
other option. No, there was
And
no-
your option
well,
is to stay
If you
home.
don't
Yeah,
have a
you do have the
babysitter,
stay-home option.
Stay home. Yeah.
Take him to the
Oh.
beach, yell at him about sand.
They love it.
What else you got?
Okay. Well, I was going to bring up this topic. Thank God Ross is here. What do you guys think is the nerd Mount Rushmore of actors? Like, I think that like Ian McKellen needs to be up there. Patrick Stewart.
Cumberbatch, he was Sherlock.
Yeah.
he was,
Christopher Lee. He was Dracula. He was Saruman, and he was Count Dooku.
I mean, do you have to have Chris Pratt on there now?
Chris Pratt is up there. Yeah.
Star-Lord is such a fringe character.
Yeah.
People
like,
love him.
Yeah,
I
but
understand
but
that.
You, well, that and Jurassic,
Jurassic
Park,
Park,
I feel
yeah.
like
Okay.
it's got a nerd.
He's
That's
got
dinosaur
that,
nerd.
Jurassic Park, and now Mario.
But then you
got-
could also use Michael Fassbender because he was Magneto in First Class, and he was also he was in 300. He was also in Aliens, like stuff like that. Like
Downey Jr. You have to
Robert Downey Jr. But he's only known for one character. That's
But-
why, like,
Is it
with
all
Patrick
men or
but so
No,
huge.
can't be
on-
all
oh,
men.
Sigourney Weaver?
Sigourney Weaver could be up there.
For
But what else?
Avatar.
Avatar, Alien,
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods.
But see, I look at her as maybe being more real Hollywood, and like see, Alien to me is almost like a horror movie.
It is a horror movie.
But I mean,
Yeah,
like,
but
I don't
it's a
look at that as
sci-fi
horror.
nerd.
Sci-fi.
I don't look at that as nerd. For some reason, that's just me.
I put
Galaxy
it that,
Quest.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, so
I
good.
keep
Just
watching
watched that
We
a couple
just
weeks
watched
ago.
it too. Yeah.
Galaxy
We watched
Quest.
A League of Their Own last night, and I forgot how funny that movie
I would
is.
divorce my wife right now to live with Galaxy Quest Sigourney Weaver. Hot.
Yeah.
We need a different word other than nerd to describe a bunch of people that are into this, because I feel like nerd is like because it was so broad of a term and used like
Yeah.
back before like fantasy movies were. Nerd used to be you were the smart. You were into school, math,
Right.
you know
Well,
what I'm saying?
it used to
Like
be a
scientists.
negative.
It used to be you were part of the
Yeah.
fringe of society. You liked the stuff that no one really liked because it was too intelligent or too like
Yeah.
outside fantasy geek stuff.
Yeah, but
So
the
what do
fantasy
real
stuff is
nerds
not.
like
But the nerds.
But they were nerds. They were nerds if you were into fantasy. Like
Yeah,
if you were Dungeons
100%.
and Dragon, yes, that's nerds.
I always broke it down to the three categories of nerds. Were more like the dudes that would have like a rocket club. You know, they're into like math,
Yeah,
and
engineering. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nerd. And then the person
okay.
who's into comic books and stuff like that, that's a dork.
No,
That's
all
a
right, there
dork.
it is. There it is.
Right, dork.
And
Ross.
that's a geek.
And then, well, then
I
the
knew you had
person
a
who
third
is
one.
just a general nothing, but not really into anything, that's your geek.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. I like, the EJ is a dork.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But not a nerd, because nerd, it insinuates that you're smart in some
Right.
way.
Oh.
And
you're
I'm saying you're not a scientist.
You're like a nerd, but you're dumb.
a dork.
So what is that? A
Dork.
dork? A dork is a
Dork.
dumb nerd. I thought you should be called a dirt.
I thought you were not supposed to be mean to people here today. I thought that was the thing, or is that Samantha?
nobody told me
That's
that.
just for the
That's
woman.
just me. That's just me.
Yeah, the
That's a
men
new-
can do whatever we want. You know. God.
That's just some of our new lady rules.
The woman can't do anything.
I specifically
That's
came
how
here
it
to be
works. America. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, now should we go to sports? Since we're talking about men stuff.
Sure.
Well, okay. Have you been watching Major League Baseball?
I have.
Have you watched them? The Rays. The Rays are undefeated,
killing it,
10-0, and they're winning by like 4 runs each game too,
they're-
which is crazy.
They're
Boy.
doing quite well, and they were discussing this on ESPN last night, and they were like, "It's only 10 games. The season's 167
Yeah,
games, which
it's
is
a
true."
lot of games,
But I
yeah.
mean, I don't think you can discount how good they're actually playing right now. So it's definitely a good sign for them.
And I
They
think
look great.
they're ready for the pitch clock. I think that would help them a lot too.
Yeah, they're a very good team. The Braves started off really, really hot, but then we came against the Padres the last series we had, and we won the first game, and the last 3 games they were just killing us.
I got a baseball question for you. So I
Why
saw
are they round?
I saw this video of, and I can't name you the team, but there's the batter had like long dreads, like they were kind of blonde. He was a famous batter.
Oh man, there's a lot of
Yeah,
blonde
you gotta
dread
be more
guys.
specific than
Sam,
that.
Google guys with hair that play baseball.
And this happened recently. I saw it on TikTok, but he he hit a grand slam or a home run or something.
What was he doing in Denny's with a baseball bat?
And then he ran around the bases, went to home, and his manager was mad. The other team was mad because they were up by so many points. And they were.
That was last season. Yeah,
that was
not
okay.
Yeah, I think it was Tatis that did it.
Okay,
and he did it last
got
season.
for-
And he got it. Then the next game they hit him. Yeah,
it was. And
Well,
then
he also got popped for
it was
performance-enhancing
it was like a
drugs.
3-0 count, and he swung, and that's just like you're supposed to just take the walk.
so the
Yeah.
I didn't know
It's
this.
an unwritten rule. Yeah,
There's this unwritten rule
I didn't know that either.
you are not supposed to.
you're already up by like 12 runs, and they're just trying to end
See, I'm
the
not that
game.
person.
Yeah.
I swing for the fences every time.
Yeah.
Well, the manager was mad at him. And everybody was like, the manager wouldn't even talk to him, and then people started yelling at him when he went back
Oh,
to
I
the.
didn't
This,
see
this
that.
happened
Yeah.
last season. Yeah,
And like I didn't know when
Wow,
it happened.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
But I didn't know.
because he got in trouble this season because the new pitch clock, you're supposed to be in the batter's box with 8 seconds, and he was pretending to he was going to call timeout at 8 seconds, but you're supposed to call it at 9 seconds, and he got tossed because he called the umpire a douchebag. So he's got mad about that.
I mean, baseball's got some weird
they've
things that
they've-
like
they
one of
made
the,
a bunch of rules.
One of
yeah.
the best ones that happened that I thought was hilarious, and I think it was right before opening day. The catcher, I think it was the catcher for the Braves. It may have been Murphy. He
Drop the ball.
he leans back and he's asking for a new ball because the ball that he
it got fouled
threw,
off or
it got
something like that,
fouled
yeah.
off, so he needs a new ball for the pitcher, right? So he's asking for a new ball. The catcher goes to give him a new ball and he didn't know,
The
so he
umpire
just pulls
did,
his
yeah.
hand in. The umpire goes to give him one and it just falls on the ground. And then the umpire thought he was doing it on purpose, so he looked at him. He's like, "Oh, you're being a smartass. Get out of here!"
Yeah,
and he
tossed
kicked him out.
him, yeah.
You're not supposed to it
And the
was just a
catcher's like, I thought
total-
you were dropping it. I was just
Yeah,
going to catch it
it's
and
like they're
do
all-
one smooth motion, but he just missed.
A lot of fun little dumb old man.
Oh, the
things
umpires are
in
like trying to
baseball.
assert their power a lot times.
Once the ump makes the call, you're out of here. Can he take it back?
No.
So if the
It-
guy's like,
usually
I was
they don't
I think,
because it's
I think
a
they can, but I think they don't.
They never
Yeah.
would. They
Yeah.
never.
I
Because
think they actually
you lose a
can,
lot
'cause
of
I've asked
power
this
if you toss
before.
someone and say, I changed my mind. Because you're supposed to be the arbiter of the rules.
I could be
Right.
wrong on
Yeah.
this, but I believe that's only happened like 1.5, 2 times. You know, like
Yeah.
I think it's like no. I mean, because you.
But they
get-
usually toss somebody. It's like you're tossed. And it's like no. I meant the guy behind you.
Well, I
Yeah.
like it. I like it when like you'll have a pitching coach or somebody come out there or a batting coach come out there and like stick up for his guys.
Yeah.
Start kicking
because-
some dirt.
Because
Oh, the
he
best.
he can't get his player ejected. That does nothing. But
Yeah.
I can get ejected, so I'll go out there.
I'll get in trouble
and I'll
for
sort of
him, yeah.
defend you. And
It's
I'll
like in a
play.
technical in basketball for your team.
So
yeah.
you kind of step in front, you're yelling at the guy, then he kicks you out, and that's the unwritten rule of okay, well, you came out here to defend him.
Still, the
so-
best one is the guy that like army crawls and throws the rosin bag like a grenade in Major League Baseball. That still makes you laugh to this day watching that video.
What else you got over there?
Okay, definitely got to talk about the NBA playoffs and how the play-in is tomorrow. So they're like the 10 and the 9 team play each other, and the 7 and 8 team play each other. And if you win the 10 and 9 game, you play the loser of the 7-8 game. And if it's hard to explain a lot of the stuff,
God
but
damn
like
it.
you got to win
Should have
2
written
games.
it down.
You got to win 2 games if you're the 10 or 9 team. You got to win 1 game if you're the 7 and 8 team. And that fills in the rest of the 7 and 8 spot for
Gotcha.
the playoffs.
Interesting.
But those are tonight, or tomorrow.
God, admittedly, I would love to pay more attention to NBA basketball, but I have not.
Well, the
And
Lakers are on the bubble, so like
Yeah.
LeBron's on. He's the 7 seed in the West.
What I do know from talking to our Magic fans and just from people that I know that love the Orlando Magic is that even though we didn't make the playoffs, our team looks really, really good.
yeah,
Like,
they're improving.
Yeah,
they're
all
gonna be.
like-
They just need a veteran player, I think.
they're all up and comers. They're
Yeah.
the type of team that other teams were like giving us like love afterwards. Like, holy crap, man!
You played us to the limit. Yeah,
you guys really pushed us.
The
so.
DeVosses will find some way to screw that up. It's not a big deal.
they'll
I mean,
hire
isn't that
someone that's
normally what
injured.
happens?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
will say
We'll get
this-
another Grant Hill.
They're the
I
worst
don't even
owners
like
in
talking
basketball.
about this.
Yeah.
Angel from the Monsters, we've known him for forever. Like
Yeah.
that guy's big, massive Magic
Magic
fan.
fan,
He's
yeah.
he played basketball
And he knows,
professionally.
yeah.
He does know, and he's extremely excited about this team. And it does make me sad for my friends that are like in the Magic because Ross is kind of right.
Yeah, we have
always find a
owners
way.
that don't live in this town and
Yeah.
don't care about this basketball team and run it like a business to make money for them.
Yeah.
They don't care about the team
They're
or
the
winning
Dolphins of
or
the
this
NBA.
city.
Yeah,
They sell a lot of great players.
yeah. As soon as they get a good player, they go somewhere else and they blow up.
Yeah. All right.
Amway.
Oh, we got to talk about Odell Beckham signing with the Ravens for $15 million.
What'd you guys think of that? What was your first thought? I almost texted you, but
Well, I listened
I figured
to
you probably had already known about where this was going.
a lot about this. And the interesting
So is Lamar going to stay because he got Odell now?
Well, he had tweeted a picture out with him.
They were hanging
Lamar,
out, yeah.
And so obviously they're friends. And this is the odd part of sports, especially the NFL does this a lot, where like they'll be like, oh, this quarterback likes this wide receiver, so we'll sign this wide receiver in hopes that this quarterback
It'll
will stay.
encourage the guy, yeah.
And then I'm like, well, are you out for the most amount of money and what's best for your own personal business, or does having a friend play in your team influence? That's a weird thing for all this.
Yeah,
like,
but you're
hoopla.
not an emotional person. So if you ask me this question,
Yeah, but
for all of us here, if I could get $140 million to play for the Baldwin Park Badgers, or I could get $180 to play down the road with a bunch of people that I don't even know, I may choose this one.
That's true.
I may choose this because you don't always choose what's the most lucrative. Sometimes you choose what's the most comfortable.
Badgers just redid their stadium too.
Yeah,
so
the
it's
Badger
good way to
Stadium
play,
is
yeah,
pretty.
yeah.
That's my name in
You don't have
fantasy
to pay for
baseball.
coffee.
Yeah,
Baldwin Badgers.
But
I'm winning 10-0.
That's if
You don't have to pay for coffee like the Dolphins coach did
Yeah,
for the Commanders.
with the whole Lamar Jackson thing, it seems like all the moves he's doing is to go like get the most amount of money, right? Like he's been doing this, holding out.
That's why he doesn't have the agent. He doesn't want to pay the 3% to that guy.
And then so it's like, okay, your motivation is to get the most amount of money. Good for you. That's what everybody should do, right?
Yeah, if that's what you wanna do.
Get as much as you're worth, and then see what. But then it's
But
like
you get more money winning, though. If you win with better players, you'll get more money in the later rounds too. So,
but he's never said that it's been about what players Baltimore has. It's about what's the most
for
money
him.
for him, you
Yeah.
know. And he's always acted that way. So then to throw in the OBJ thing and then make that seem like it makes a difference is odd to me, because I thought, is it about the money or does this make a difference? That's weird to me.
I mean,
you know, like what is it?
Every time
Lamar?
we talk about this, I get a little more confused.
yeah, Lamar keeps him guessing a lot. He does that a lot, though.
But
What if he's guessing?
Yeah, he doesn't know.
I will tell
he
you
does know.
immediately when I saw OBJ sign with the Ravens and I heard the story of him and Lamar hanging out and stuff, I jumped on because there was
I thought you
The
might.
gambling.
No, you have to. You have to,
yeah,
right?
the
That's-
Ravens
yeah.
Well, there's
win
a-
to call them go up. Yeah.
There were a lot of sports books that had the bet, what team will Lamar play in next year? Now, Ravens were always like at one point, this was weeks ago, like minus 200, but there were all the other teams, like all the speculation stuff. So you could have got Ravens at minus 200 a couple weeks ago. Now, I jumped to see if that was still on there
changed,
because immediately when I saw that, I'm like, oh, he's staying with the Ravens. Like they're
why
not-
wouldn't you?
They're signing OBJ and giving him way too much money. This
lot
guy,
of money for-
31 years old, 2 ACL tears. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
He
This is
ain't-
not
he
OBJ
hasn't
from
played
the
in-
Giants. Yeah.
When's the last time he played?
2 years ago for the Rams?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, you got to take that into account, right? The guy hasn't touched a football in years.
Yeah, I think in the past 2 years he's had like 7 touchdowns or whatever. Like this ain't. Everybody seems to be in the same consensus about it. Like no, people didn't think
I think his time has passed.
People thought OBJ would get paid $2 to $3 million. Like that's what everybody
Yeah.
was saying, and everybody thinks paying him $15 million is absurd.
Plus, it's screwing up the wide receiver market because now other receivers are like, I'm worth more than OBJ.
Yeah.
Come on.
But that tells me it must have some sort of influence to keep Lamar Jackson. Like these NFL teams aren't stupid, right? They're owned. Some of them. I mean, some of the owners are stupid, but they're There's $8 billion corporations. You know, that's a lot. They're run by lawyers and smart business people and coaches and stuff. You pay a wide receiver that even the nerds that do podcasts say that it's insane that you pay him $15 million. It must be for another reason, right? To keep Lamar.
Yeah, that's
Maybe,
what
yeah.
I think.
Like,
yeah.
you're trying to do that. He's worth $15 million
How
if we
is
can
that
get
deal
Lamar to
structured?
stay. Yeah.
Is it only 15?
It's
We don't-
1 year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what clauses
Yeah.
are in there? Is it a guaranteed 15? You know what I mean? Like, is it?
15
Yeah. Is
is
it going to hit against their salary
Yeah,
cap
I
and
don't
all that
know
stuff?
because
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it was like, ooh, let's
could-
get somebody in there that gives him, maybe makes him a little more comfortable, and maybe we can leverage him to stay.
Yeah, and to sign that contract must mean that you must know that this has some influence with Lamar, right? It's
Now,
weird.
do I think it would be funny if Lamar Jackson immediately goes someplace else?
Oh, if that
Yes,
happens, I
I
think
do.
OBJ gets cut right away. I think so.
Yeah.
If that happens.
If I'm a football player, I don't want the initials OJ anywhere near my name. Even
You're
with
right.
another
Yeah.
letter in
OJB,
between.
yeah.
I don't know. He rushed for 2,000 yards.
I don't
season.
think. Well, they still have to pay him something because you can
Yeah, there'll
sign.
be something in there.
Although that's the thing. Like we see these numbers and the contracts
Nothing's
are 2
guaranteed,
inches
yeah.
thick. Like we
That's what I'm
we
saying.
were
We
from-
don't know. We just heard 15 million.
and also like a lot of these contracts when they announce them, like it's advantageous for the agents, for the NFL themselves, for the actual media to print these huge numbers. So you're seeing a number that now I think the 15
Probably
million
inflated.
It may be there's some sort of guarantee, but there are a lot of these are like based on. I mean, you got to win the Super Bowl to
Get MVP,
to get everything.
make the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Incentive based. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so you have to dig deep and be a damn contract lawyer to really understand. But people break them down now where, like, there's tons of business and sports guys that were like, the actual number is this.
I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, go listen to that instead of this.
What the hell?
Well, the last story I have, I kind of picked out because I think Samantha would like this. Did you guys hear the final findings about Dwayne Haskins? What happened to him?
Dwayne Haskins.
He was the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's the
I
backup.
thought you were talking
They get
about
hit by the-
I thought you were talking about the principal of Bayside High School.
He got hit by the dump truck in Miami,
And they
running
finally-
across.
Oh,
Yeah.
so sad.
And we all were like, what the hell?
Yeah,
happened?
we
Well,
didn't
they
know
finally
why it
found
was
out
yeah.
he had ketamine in his system, and he had
we thought that.
0.24 alcohol limit was what he
He
had.
said he thought we.
And they're saying his wife thinks that he was getting
partying.
drugged, and they were going to blackmail him, and they stole his watch, and they think that she's suing like a golf driving range, 2 restaurants, and a hotel because those are the places he was
So
at.
they were all in on it?
They were targeting him, and they were going to try to drug him to rob him and blackmail him, and that's why.
And
this
he was
happened.
running from them, and then he ran into traffic.
Yeah, because he ran out of gas.
That's pretty far-fetched, I gotta
It's-
say.
it's far-
I gotta know some of the
I'm just saying, if
The
that's
details
true,
look crazy. Like this
I
is
mean,
what
that's some
she.
Samantha paranoia.
Oh.
You heard about this one show stuff where
Broward-
it's like
this is what she
he was
filed in Broward
drugged
County, yeah.
and everybody was in on the restaurant, the hotel, and then they were gonna all like
Yeah.
kidnap him, drug him, and then extort him for money.
Yeah, like put him in like compromised situations, and then okay, you go give us money, or we're gonna
I
like
mean,
publish this stuff.
I don't.
Or he took ketamine and
Or he's
giant
partying a little
conspiracy
bit.
theory.
I know.
I knew lots of people back in the day.
God, I had an ex-girlfriend that loved ketamine.
They woke
Kales.
up the next
Yeah.
morning and they were like, someone must have drugged my drink. I did all these things, DUI, whatever. Like, or you drank too much and blacked out.
Yeah, I mean,
Now they-
I have been like,
now
somebody
they're-
put all this alcohol in my glass. What happened?
We can disparage the good name of this man without dragging your pet theory that no lady has ever been.
I didn't say
Yeah.
that.
But you have said it before. You said it's never happened before. It's
say
never
it all
happened.
the
It's
time.
never
I
happened to
say
any of
that.
my Miami friends. It's never happened in history.
I just known a lot of people that said someone must have slipped
Yeah,
under
that.
my drink.
Yes.
Yeah, that.
That's,
When you say
have a
that,
bunch of
that's-
scumbag friends. Maybe that's you.
Bill
being
That's
my
like that.
friends.
But he was always talking about me at Cyberzone when I was like, somebody put ecstasy in my drink, and everybody was like, no,
That was
you
you.
took ecstasy and drank too much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what the reference is.
Now,
Yeah.
it sounds like this lady's suing a lot of places with a lot of cameras. So
Yeah.
I feel like this one will get nailed down pretty quick.
Right.
Like, we'll
Yeah.
see a
Yeah.
waiter either dropping some bloop or like unscrewing that little ring from the medieval
I've always
times.
wanted
Yeah.
someone to use
Yeah.
the ring.
Oh my God, it's the best.
And it's huge.
Yeah.
It's ginormous.
It has to be to hold the poison.
It goes back to like family members not wanting to believe, and because for sure he could have been drugged. This could be a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Well,
This
she
could be
has very
like
specific businesses she's going after, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
it seems like she must have
I
something.
knew
Yeah.
Samantha would love this story. That's why I picked it.
She's got
Yeah,
a
for sure.
story. I'd like to give DeBerry Joe credit for saying somebody slipped hangover powder into one of my 12 beers. That's a funny ass joke, man. That's actual audio of me standing out at Club La Vila telling everybody that somebody had put something in my drink.
yeah.
Tom not wanting to believe it, and maybe if you want to assume the worst about people, maybe like she's a woman who married an up and coming NFL player for the money. Maybe
Yeah.
she's looking to cash in.
That's
Yeah.
another
If you want to
scenario,
assume the
yeah.
worst about people, you could assume that maybe.
Yeah. Although, like him running across the highway, that's like
And he was
it's-
aware
It
enough.
is bizarre.
Ketamine
He
and
was aware enough to call his wife before he did it too. She's like, "I'm gonna go pick up gas," and then when she didn't get a phone call back, That's why
Yes,
she
that
knew.
is
Yeah.
absolutely crazy.
A .24
Did he-
takes a while to
But
hang on though.
did he tell his wife, like, I feel weak? Someone drugged me. Wouldn't you?
No.
Like,
No.
you
I
wouldn't-
mean, not according to this.
Not
article.
according. Yeah. Not
Well,
according
that's
to
kind of
the article,
weird. I wouldn't tell my wife either if I
Would
was
you
like,
tell
and I'd
Did
be
you
like,
tell your wife you were drunk driving?
hell no. I mean, if I'm drunk driving on ketamine, I can stop in
We don't
Miami.
know if he
I'm-
was drugged before the phone call, though.
Yeah.
Well, the phone call happened right when he got out of the car and ran over and got hit by the dump truck. Like, he
Yeah.
was in the car. It was no.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I thought he was.
He was,
No.
no. They
wasn't.
said he was
They
like
said he
1
called
foot
it-
away from
called him-
the
He
median.
called her early that day.
Oh, it
Oh,
was
and then she said she was going to go get gas and then come get him.
No. He was going to get
He
gas.
was going to get gas.
But then she never heard back from him, and then she ended up calling 911 to check on him.
So sad.
Well, so when he broke down on the because that's what he was.
That's
on,
when he called.
He
He
was
called
on the
when he
major.
broke down, yeah.
He was on a major. Okay, so then he was in the car.
Yeah.
So then it wasn't early
How long
that
does
day.
it take for ketamine to kick in?
He was.
Never done it.
I never done it, so I don't know.
I mean,
I know a lot of people
chat
like to
room?
think we party, but I had never. Ketamine is not something that I ever did. I've heard of K-holes. I don't know what it
Yeah.
does. I don't know how you feel on it.
I'm
Hit me
just.
up though. I'll try it.
I'm just saying, you're in your car, you broke down, you're drunk, you're on ketamine. You call your wife like, I need to get gas.
Well, maybe he did the hunt chuck.
Yeah.
Maybe he broke down. Maybe he broke down. Then got drunk and took some
Emergency
K.
ketamine.
If it was a giant conspiracy, wouldn't you be like, hey, I don't know what's happening to me. Like, I feel crazy, weird.
Yeah.
Like, you did nothing.
Would you say that though?
I mean, I
Well,
see.
If I was just out for a night and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm on
I
ketamine, I would be like, someone poisoned me.
I would tell my
Some
wife.
you would. I
Yeah.
don't think Tom would.
I think the missing part of the story is like, how did he get from this broken down car to the
Right.
hotel and the restaurant that she's
I
suing?
think he was leaving the hotel.
Yes,
That's the scenario.
I think she's
he was.
trying to.
These were the places he was before he broke down.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they're thinking that these are the people that
Yeah.
either overserved him
Yes.
or put ketamine in his
Restaurant
drink.
and hotel are
And
the
the
pieces
golf
before
driving range,
breakdown
yeah.
and then accident.
And then, Tom, you probably know more than this about me. Is ketamine what you would use to knock somebody out?
I don't.
Oh, it's never happened to your Miami friends. I forgot.
Well, ketamine.
I'm just
Stop
saying,
being mean to Tom. You're gonna
I
get an
would-
email.
Is it someone at Ruby Tuesdays is putting ketamine in Dwayne Haskins' drink and over serving him
It's
to try to
possible.
steal his money? Or did you go to Ruby Tuesdays and drink too much and take ketamine to party, break down, call your wife like, I gotta get gas, and then you're too inebriated to navigate across the street, get hit by a truck, and then your family
Because
member's like, well, someone must have drugged him because he's not the type of person that took ketamine.
I agree with you.
Well, he didn't tell you that because he likes to party. I don't tell my wife every time I'm on edibles. In fact, I never tell her. I hide it all the time. Anyway, sorry. Bye-bye.
Like I said,
we gotta go. We gotta go.
No, I agree with you.
Oh, email me.
Where does that go?
Tuesday 1 and 2.
oh, that's funny.
Anyone? Email me. Where's that
Well-
go? Sorry.
Tuesday 1 and 2.
I could see the family suing the places that he
yeah.
was at, but it's like, what's more likely?
Yeah, it's their only recourse. That's all they got.
Yeah, she's just doing what she can because that's what was going to happen anyways.
It's super sad.
yeah,
because the guy.
someone's dead.
the
Like,
guy-
no matter what happened.
99% chance is bullshit, but they'll settle with her just to fucking get it settled.
It may be just lawyers saying like you should.
Well, she's
filed a
yeah,
lawsuit.
she filed lawsuits against the truck driver because his limit was the weight of the truck was too heavy and like there was a bunch of stuff. Like
Yeah.
she's nailing down everything.
Yeah.
No, that's a lawyer just broadly
Right.
suing
Oh, yeah,
everybody.
yeah, everyone,
and,
yeah.
Oh, Drive Shack's one of the places.
I
When
knew
you said
it-
a golf
I knew what
place,
it
I
was,
figured
and I
that's
didn't want
what
to
it
say
was,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That I don't like that whole being overserved thing.
Keep their
Well, it's their
You
job.
ordered
They're
them.
supposed to not. If they think you're inebriated, they're not supposed to serve you.
It's
Yeah, but-
true, but like you're working at 7-Eleven, you're also not supposed to sell a 6-pack to somebody who's drunk.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's half the fucking people who walk
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
here.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like if you're Dwayne Haskins, like, and you're ordering drinks, like, how is a waiter or waitress supposed to know if someone's really inebriated?
I've
like,
always put
unless
that on the
you're-
person, man. I hate that when they pop some guy that is.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know.
If
know.
your head is on the table and you vomited it, and then you're like,
And
"Here's
you-
more beer,"
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's nothing.
Yeah.
But if you're just like you're
Hey,
partying,
can
or
I have
drinking-
another beer? You gotta get another fucking beer, regardless.
What do you mean, like,
yeah.
let me give you a fucking field sobriety test? Like, I hate that
But you can tell that
overserved.
someone's really shit faced though too.
It's tough, man. Like,
You know what happens on TV all the time that I've never seen? Like the bartender go, "Let me have your keys." I've never fucking
Yeah,
seen
no,
that
no,
happen.
of
There's
course
like
not.
a drunk ass-
One time I've seen it.
Gilmore Girls.
Once.
One time in Gilmore Girls. Like in the bar scene, the guy with the
Right.
backwards hat that owns the diner. Yeah, they took his
It
keys
happens
at a
in
bar.
TV all the time, yeah.
But it never happens in real life.
I saw
it's
it
never
happen
happened.
one time.
Oh, in real life?
Yeah.
Oh my
Whose
god.
keys?
Just a patron at the bar.
Okay.
Well, just be responsible for yourself.
Okay, wait.
But he was
hold on
friends
a
with the
second.
bartender, so the
shit-faced.
bartender's
I
like,
have
I'm not letting you.
You know, I
drive
have a
home.
story
That's
of
your
myself.
problem. That's your problem.
They didn't take my keys, but
Slash your tires.
what was the place downtown DeLand? Teets. There was a bar called Teets. Teets,
Oh,
and it was
yeah.
like a little
Like a tsetse fly.
Yeah, and they were like, "We're calling you a cab. We don't want you driving."
Yeah.
But they didn't take my keys. All right, what's next?
Yeah, go for it. We could do. We'll do that.
For the 17th.
Yeah. If you can stay, if you want to stay.
Yeah, I can hang out.
Yeah, hang out.
Because we can plug your gig one more time. Thank you, dude.
Good job today, man.
Good job.
Good seeing you as always. Yes, sir. Put that on. I'll see you at Salty Sisters.
Get you a karaoke song.
Yeah, get a song. Okay. What is this for? And
Monday the 17th,
okay,
segment 1.
you got some emails over there.
Sure.
Get my voicemails ready too. Okay. All right. Why don't you bring us back? 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Real quick, if you want to join our texting service, text BDM to 844-TOM-IN-DAN. That's 844-866-6326. And once you text BDM, you'll get a return text automatically, opting you into our texting service.
We
and
do
then-
not drive you crazy either.
No,
like
no.
once a month, we'll send you really good information on either events that we have going on, special deals on some of the merch that we have. If anything, happens that, we think that you can benefit from, we'll let you know.
Yeah, it's really like things that you can benefit from that are show related, and you'll get a text.
Yes, sir. So, you want to do little emails?
Yes, but first,
Yes.
let's. Ross McCoy is
Yeah.
here.
Oh, hey.
And
What are you doing
I knew
here?
I was doing something.
What are you doing here?
tell us about the show on April 22nd.
I got a show coming up this Saturday, the 22nd. One night only in Orlando. It's Nick Pupo's one-man show. Nick Pupo from AMC's *Halt and Catch Fire*, from The Goldbergs.
man.
From this sounds good. I've never heard of it. Daisy Jones and the Six.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Dan was telling you
Yeah,
about
Is that
he
the one
in
you're-
That's the. But I don't believe that's the one. He's in so much.
He's
stuff.
in a bunch of stuff. I'm looking at his IMDb right now.
Nick is killing, and he's like the sweetest, most intelligent, nicest guy. You'd really, really like him. Follow him on Instagram. But more than even that, go to the show.
*Halt and Catch Fire*. Watch *Halt and Catch Fire* too. That's a great
Good show.
He's good in it. And yeah, one night only. Nick Pupo. It's his one-man show. It's gonna be at the Bull and Bush this Saturday, the 22nd, 9 p.m. $10 at the door. A little bit of comedy up front, and then Nick Pupo's one-man show.
Love it.
Let's do some emails.
All right, emails are paper, not voicemails. Sam, do you have the
right.
papers?
I have the papers, and
All
we
right.
finally have the ink. So here
Oh,
we go.
I sent the other ink out. So we
right,
should be
okay,
getting
all right.
$200 back.
I assume we have a ton of emails about Tom's take last week on ketamine.
Oh, yeah, the K-hole Tom, they call him.
Well,
I've never done ketamine. How does
Neither
it
have I.
feel?
Yeah.
One of the
oh,
few
man,
things.
it feels so rapey.
They-
No, I've never done it either.
You hear that phrase K-hole, which makes me think that you just like black out.
yeah.
K-hole makes me think of cat misspelled, and then I think of B-hole, and then I say K-hole, and then I think of a cat's B-hole. For some reason. That's how weird my brain is.
I remember in high school there was this guy. His name was Greg. He's passed on
K-hole
now.
Greg.
And,
I'm sorry. I didn't.
and
B-hole Greg.
He worked at the sub shop with us, and he was.
Oh, was he the nail guy?
No,
Oh,
that was
I think about
My
Nail
favorite
Guy.
stories.
think about
It's one
Nail
of my
Guy all
favorite
the time.
stories.
He was like borderline homeless.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that I feel like are
K-homeless.
walking the tightrope of homelessness. Like they technically are not homeless, but
Sometimes I
it's
feel like
so
we are.
close.
Sometimes I feel like I'm holding on my microphone.
And he used to tell us that when he did ketamine, he'd all of a sudden see in 2D for like
Everything's flat.
for like minutes at a time, and then it would go back to normal. And then I'm like, that is terrifying.
sounds-
Like that kept me away from it. And
There's a restaurant here in town where everything is drawn to appear 2D. So when you walk in, it like makes you like kind of. It's like you're stepping inside the like the aha video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pretty cool.
All right, sorry, Sam.
Never done ketamine though.
So this is kind of related. Tom needs to get out of his bubble. I love you guys. I listen to every single thing you put out, and I listen to Semantics. However, the Stepdads Aren't Real show made me want to throw my phone through the wall. I am a female version of Tom. I'm logical, and that's the one thing I love about the show. I always see eye to eye with him.
A female Tom, that means she shaves it all the way down.
But she doesn't wash any of it.
But he is a sheltered little puppy that needs to get out of Castleberry. Y'all joke that Castleberry is trashy, but it isn't. Come on down to Polk County and I can show you some trash. Here's the problem I have with Tom's idea that people believe wrestling was real. If he went out and met some people they are not very smart. Honestly,
He knows that.
there are a lot of people that believe wrestling is real, just like the flat earthers. Honestly, just go out into
Those
the
people
world
aren't
and
real.
meet real people, and they are not smart at all. I work in law enforcement, and every single day we get several people who are scammed. Normal, everyday people. Get a call and do what they say and lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. Again, normal people that work in the community and that you deal with on a daily basis, so these people are just not that smart.
So the answer is just that people are dumb.
So tell
For
Tom
everything.
he needs to go on a field trip and get out and talk to some people because people are not that bright.
I know about dumb people.
But if you remember, Tom's very first stipulation was he didn't want us to answer with that people are dumb.
I was trying to.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Right. So
I was trying to truth seek, where I was like, wanted to know. I'm not gonna go back into it, but I was like because I realized there are dumb people that literally maybe don't have the IQ to understand what's
yeah.
going on. But
I'm right here, man.
But I was basically thinking that even if you weren't that educated, that you must have seen some sort of fight.
We just need to reframe this into, it should be, maybe you just need to reframe this instead of going back into it. Reframe it as if to saying, well, I didn't expect that many people would believe something that to me seems unbelievable.
Well,
right?
Isn't
like, that what you're saying?
Is it like belief in everything else that's patently false that they just want to believe? They want like John Cena to be a hero.
I think there is
and so
some of that. We never addressed that
wanna
though
believe it,
because
yeah.
like we got into a weird circle talking thing. We're not going to do it again.
No.
But we didn't even address the aspect of wanting to believe
It's
it.
the
That's on a
only-
whole nother
It's
chapter.
the only thing that makes sense, really.
Yeah.
No, okay, is it wanting to believe it?
Sure.
And I can't separate the wanting to believe something and actually believing it, but wanting to believe something is close enough to some people of believing it, and then it's fine.
You know, I used to crap on people who wanted to believe and believed in nonsense, but then they did that study that proved airborne works when you believe in it. It doesn't. If you're one of those guys that's like, nah, it's just fizzy vitamins. It's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna do anything for you. But if you believe that it works
Can
for
I tell
you.
you, it
And
made
so
me
now,
hate, that
when I
made me
get
hate
sick,
airborne more.
well, it convinced me. I was like, well, great. I believe it works, and so I went.
No,
I started.
I got mad.
No, it works.
No, I got
It
mad.
works.
I
he
got
hasn't been
mad.
sick.
I know you don't believe. Not gonna work.
I do.
It's
See,
not gonna work.
That's where I get screwed up because I'm somewhere in between you
Yeah,
and Tom
right.
because that made me mad at airborne. I'm like, what do you mean if I believe it works? The same thing can be said about religion. Oh, they believed it. Look at how good their life. It worked for my mom. Nobody can say it didn't work for my mom.
Well, positive thinking works. Like there are things
Sure.
where, like, yes, there are bull ass parts of things, but like willing something to happen through positive thinking, manifesting it, like there is the psychology behind that. And like Ross said, there are studies, scientific proof that your brain can somehow.
Not mine.
Like if you believe something, or like there's been this happened with like what's that when you put something in water and the water remembers
A
what,
pasta.
Oh, no, I know what you're talking about.
Is it a homeopathic?
Homeopathic. Yeah.
Like so, there
essential
Oh, I
oils
was
and
like,
stuff.
what are you talking
Yeah, no, I know what he's
homeopathic
talking
remedies,
about. Yeah.
and the reason why there's such
we
an
used
argument.
we used to argue with people all the time about
Right.
This is
homeopathic
dowsing
stuff.
rods.
Yeah, it is.
Because homeopathic remedies have worked for people because they believed it
They
worked.
believed that it worked.
Now, it's not going to cure cancer, and then some people have been cured by cancer, but that's anomaly, weird things. You know, like
A rare one-sentence Tom Van
your immunity
correction.
It's crazy.
So that's what I'm fascinated by, because that almost leaking into the supernatural, but there is natural reasoning for it, but it's beyond explanation.
I'm a firm believer that you have a number of switches inside of you, and you can flip switches inside of you to decide certain things. Like the first time I remember doing it was when I was in a school play, and we were backstage, and we could hear like the audience, And I remember getting that butterfly feeling, and I remember it was like so strong and so intense. Like I'm about to go like do a play in front of literally everybody I know, and if I mess up, I'm gonna be ridiculed for the rest of my high school life. And the butterflies got so intense, I was like, I need to run away. Like I need to get out of here. Like I felt the flight or flight, you know. And I remember reaching down inside myself and flipping the switch and saying, you know what, this is just a feeling. And instead of like being aggravated by this feeling, I'm going to decide I enjoy it. I flipped the switch, decided I enjoy it, and ever since then, I've had no problem with like stage fright or anything like that.
That's interesting because like
That would save me from a lot of panic attacks.
I don't even know where my switches are.
I gotta find my switch.
Yeah, I'm looking for my switch.
I don't think
like, stop touching your penis.
I don't.
I'm like, well,
That's
not there, I guess.
I don't think everybody could do that
No,
though.
I don't think
That's
everybody
a
could.
unique
No,
ability.
that is a unique
That's some self-discipline,
No, that
I guess.
is
It's
but that's-
controlling your brain
It's
chemicals.
also meditation. I mean, what you're describing is
Yeah.
no different than what I am told to do when I meditate or when I go to my
You're right.
therapy. My therapist tells me like I have a visualization technique called leaves on a stream, where like the leaf comes down, it lands on the stream, and then I have to manifest these problems going away and breathe. And I mean, that's all you're doing is a crude,
Correct.
Ross version of that.
Just the on-off version of that. Yeah.
I like that.
Wim Hof and other monks and people can control their
Monks.
body temperature with breathing techniques. You know, like that's weird that you
Yeah,
could do that. You
it
know
is
what I'm saying?
weird.
Like,
They can sit there and pour gas on themselves and light themselves on fire and just chill out.
it's like you can control.
I can't even
your,
be in traffic.
So if you weren't doing this, like you start, your fingers start turning black and stuff. Like they literally can keep their like frostbite away with breathing techniques.
It's crazy.
And so it's like how much your brain can control.
I wish I hadn't brought up that airborne thing, bro. That makes me mad. It does make me mad.
Just decide it works, Dan, and it'll work for you.
And back to this emailer, because I want to yell at her for a second.
Okay, get him, yes.
I am trying not to discount things by thinking I'm smarter than other people, because I do think that, and it's a flaw. And other people think that. I'm joking. I don't think that. I actually think I'm super
The way
dumb.
you said that was
I'm actually surprised every day. I'm
it-
like, what?
I actually
so
get,
dumb.
I actually get mad at him doing that because he's almost backwards manifesting him being
Correct.
dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like,
Correct.
I'm an idiot. I'm like, no, you're not, dude. You come with some really goddamn good ideas.
But this cop's like, oh, well, there's a lot of dumb people. They're so dumb they don't know. Just put them in the category as dumb. And I don't want to do that. Because I think everybody, like, there are people that are dumb and smart, but even when I don't believe that you could just be put in one category as dumb. You may be ignorant to certain things, but maybe not dumb. You know what I'm saying?
God,
What
I feel
does
like
dumb
we're doing
mean?
an after-school special.
And I
you
hate
know,
to talk down to this pig that wrote in or whatever, but like I'm sure a lot of the people that you see that get scammed are dumb, but like there are smart people also get scammed
100%.
these scammers are really good now, and they can get online and research you and call you up and say your kids are in trouble and stuff like that, and hit you with stuff that emotionally hooks you in the brain, that just goes right past
You
your
know the
thinking.
one that gets me every time, Ross? It's the guy and the girl in the jungle, and they meet the tribe of elders. They can teach the man how to make his penis extraordinarily long. I get those. You don't get those emails?
But all he has to do is pull the tiger's tooth.
No, I have
and-
to send them money, and then they'll send me the concoctions. and
Oh,
they'll send me,
yeah.
like the old recipes.
Oh yeah.
And if you do really believe there's that many dumb people out there, quit screaming for everybody to vote.
Oh.
Because I don't. What are you trying to do? If you believe that segment or many people
Keep it
are
to
dumb,
yourself.
just maybe they shouldn't vote.
Dude, if you have to take a test to drive, I think you should have to take a test to vote.
Yeah.
You want to do another email or voicemail?
voicemail?
All right, voicemail it is.
Tom, Dan, Sam, BDM Mike. So, I think I'm dealing with something right now. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I have a unibrow, and I don't know how to stop having unibrow.
I think we played this one.
BDM for life. Love you guys.
I didn't
I
think we
remember
I was
the
like, just
unibrow.
wax it or tweeze it.
Oh, like what are you supposed to do? Like, can you get a surgery for that?
Laser hair.
Have you guys ever known anybody that has a unibrow?
Dude, the laser hair removal, they do them all the time.
But
unibrows.
is that permanent?
Well,
I don't
the
know.
laser removal. I mean, you read the commercials.
No. I mean, calm down, man. No, it's like, on my back. Yeah, I mean, it works. But I always thought, just from doing the commercials, that especially when I was doing endorsing Ideal Image, it did work on my back permanently. But like on your face, I always thought your face hair is completely different style of follicle.
I don't know.
And I don't think it
that's
works the same way. It's the same way that they have now. They have specific lasers that are for like black people or brown people, right? Because you can't use like I guess a Caucasian laser on people of darker skin. You might hurt them. You know, I mean, they have a lot more technology now. But I don't
Band-Aids.
I don't think. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that face follicles are the same as body hair.
Well,
follicles.
what about the ladies that get their eyebrows like completely removed and then get a eyebrow tattoo?
Like the Whoopi Goldberg.
Do they have to keep waxing that off like every couple weeks?
That's
or?
a great question.
Or
I do
the
not know.
mustache. Some women have an unfortunate mustache.
And
You
like,
know what's the most unfortunate part of sometimes when women have an unfortunate mustache is that there's nothing they can do about it, so they have to just let it grow. And then they choose. They're just like, well, this is me, and I'm just gonna let it grow.
And they become a lunch lady.
Yeah, and they do. And then they just kind of rock the mustache. It's like the wolf people that you see. They're all over my TikTok, by the way. I don't know if that's in your algorithm, but I have all the wolf people.
Speaking of which, I don't know what I typed into where, but I've been getting ads lately for like a little hand-sized home laser that'll remove hair.
Yeah, I've seen those.
You seen that one? This strikes me as BS, but
Yeah, you need the big jumbo that they
Yeah,
have.
it's gotta be
I want the
huge.
Hadron Collider.
And it's got. You know what I liked about the Ideal Image one is that it had like a hydrogen cooling blast that accompanied it. So as they're lasering your hair, it shoots you with like the cold blast that they use on like Conor McGregor's legs when he's like, or when a soccer player gets hurt, they spray the cold spray on it.
Or you get an oil change.
Yeah, it's like a blast, and it like so you didn't feel anything. It was like
You can laser hair removal a unibrow.
there you go.
Why do we want to still look good once our lives are over?
Oh
It's an
my
issue. No,
God.
because I'm thinking about myself. Like I am.
I'm the negative one, guys.
Yeah, you look great. I think you look better than you've looked
But
in a while.
I keep trying to like this may
keep
be
trying to slip into that old little black dress you bought when you and Crystal got together.
like I haven't let myself go.
No, you look great.
You're clinging to your youth.
And I'm trying to still look good, but for what reason? I like my wife won't leave me if
I mean, I don't think you look that good.
if
Is it
I don't
but
think
is
either.
it because you don't want people clowning you, like in the documentary?
You clowning me?
that will happen no matter what.
That's true.
That's common.
Yeah. That won't matter whether
I look like that once a week.
like if I just let myself go.
Oh, do it. Come on.
It would be easier, and Crystal's not going to leave me. I'm not doing it to.
She might.
No, she won't.
Now that she's seen you be Muscle Man,
no,
and she looks good too.
She won't leave me for being ugly.
I can tell you, because you guys know I've just recently lost some weight.
Yeah, you look
I'm
great.
looking better than I ever have in my life, and your wife does prefer that. She prefers you to look good.
She does.
I'll tell you that.
Prefer, but that's
Yeah.
that's a mild
That's
emotion.
on her. I mean,
Like,
when I go to
prefer
Mellow
you-
Mushroom, I prefer a Mighty Meaty, but sometimes I don't get that.
Like, you know how
sometimes
much-
I get a cheese.
You know how much work it is to keep yourself looking okay? Like, it's too much work.
But
It's for only my wife to prefer. It's like not doing that much. Like, I could do none of the work, and my wife's like, I'd prefer if you look better, but that's it. All right.
so I,
I'll live like this.
My wife says, I'd prefer if you drink less. And I'd be like, I'll take that into consideration.
I've come up with some little goals for myself to keep myself going. Like I want, like
Tiny little soccer goals.
by August of this year, I want to like have some abs. So I'm gonna hire a professional photographer. I'm gonna go to the beach. And I'm gonna take some like pictures of me with abs at the beach, and then delete every other picture of me that exists. It's gonna be the only pictures.
It's a great idea.
And then, but that only keeps me going to August. So I needed something beyond that. So I decided I want to get in good enough shape that I can audition for and get cast in the Sexy Vampire House at Halloween Horror Nights. I want to be like
That's a good
I want to be the
goal.
vampire with like the shirt off, dancing in the club, fangs out.
Dude,
Sexy vampire.
Yeah.
I think that's a great goal.
Yeah.
Getting abs is
So hard.
That's a feat of
No, it's actually your stomach.
discipline.
Up here.
There it is.
Hey now.
I like that is
You know?
difficult,
Hold on,
man.
hold on. That was awesome. That was awesome.
That little vaudeville dandy pulled
That-
out my cane.
I recently, it's mostly diet, obviously. Like
Yeah.
abs, anything you want to look good, it's mostly diet. But I just recently came up with some, I call them protocols. I put together a bunch of exercises that work, and I have ab muscles for the first time in my life.
But getting like, what do you want to do? Like stereotypical 6-pack? Because that's gonna be difficult.
It's there now. I've got it. I'm telling you, and I do this protocol every day to make sure it stays there. Now I just need to lose like 20 pounds so you can see it.
Well, that's a hard. We all have abs.
You don't though. You don't though. I bump into the fat guy like you every day who's like, I got abs. They're just fat on top of it. No, I'm doing plank jacks. I'm doing mountain climbers. I'm doing 2 weird exercises I got from Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Body book. I'm doing weighted like back crunches and like every day. I got abs under my fat. You don't, buddy. You don't.
You're
Everybody
talking
else
to me?
does it.
I got abs. I'd wager a bet that who could get the abs first.
Is it
Me
an
or
ab
Ross?
off? Are you guys doing an ab off?
Because I need to go on a stricter diet for GD.
I don't know if I can deal with a
Goddamn right.
hangry Tom.
This guy will be mad. This guy will be extra
I'm
mad.
hangry all the damn time.
They'll come in here yelling.
That's why I'm
He's
mad.
like, I need more muscle milks. Ross will come in here mad as hell. How many confrontations did you have? He's like, how many haven't I had? You little
Yeah. You know what? Maybe we should do. We're gonna ruin our goddamn lives. It's
You know what?
too hard to do
It's
that.
already hard. You're already just depriving
Like
yourself of
Seth Petrozelli has abs, and
does.
what
Sure.
he has to do is, and it's not even about the workout. The diet
Right.
is
You know what?
insane.
Yeah.
I didn't used to say this, but I will say this now. When I look at him, and I hope he doesn't get mad at me for saying this, he looks amazing, right? He looks great, but he also looks miserable.
Well, that's his brain.
His brain is miserable.
Well, yeah, well,
Right?
Yeah.
We need to cheer him up. He's miserable. Beautiful girlfriend, beautiful house, cars,
Never
motorcycles.
No. I think he's fine.
You think he's fine?
Yeah.
Do you think he'd
looks
be happier?
sad.
Do you think he'd be happier fat? Could we get him fat and make him happy?
He'll never be fat.
No, it's a mental thing.
He just looks so sad.
He can't ever like stop working out. He's addicted to it. Like the guys, if you're good or the best at anything, you're addicted to that thing. You know,
he's
it's like
definitely addicted. And he
you're the
has
most
been-
successful
Well, now-
or whatever.
Now he's been doing it for 20 years, right?
The most successful stand-ups are addicted to it, right, Ross?
Yeah, no, they would
Yeah.
never stop doing it.
Yeah.
Well, Eddie Murphy being the exception. He was the best at one point and then just said, nah.
Yeah. I think
Steve Martin, same thing.
You know what's sad about the Eddie Murphy thing is now
He won't admit he likes transvestites.
he can't ever get back into it
No.
without people always comparing him to what he was 30 years ago.
Disagree,
He's
because
a
like
new
all
king now, right?
when you like hear comics on podcasts, it comes up all the time. Like, I wish Eddie Murphy would get back in like people who hang out. I think like Jay Farrow, I heard an interview with like he hangs out with him. He's just as funny as he ever was. He says, and he could get back to it like right today.
Yeah, but
Yeah, Jay did say that when he was in here, but I just don't see that ever happening.
you think he could get together and act an hour and be just as
Why would
good?
he? He's a movie star and he's got all the money in the world. Why would he ever do it again?
Tracy
I will
Morgan's
say
doing
that
it.
That guy's
Different
addicted.
people.
Yeah,
I
so
will
maybe
say
Eddie
that-
Murphy's not addicted?
I don't think so.
I don't think he is either. The
Okay.
Jonah Hill movie that he is in, I will say,
Oh, I wanted to
Eddie
see
Murphy is like the worst part of it.
Oh, really?
He's just kind of
Really?
got like he's kind of corny. It's like when you see him, you're kind of like, man, I'm not sure I like the way you're playing this. He's playing like a sort of a militant black guy, you know, like a more of a like black and proud style father, but with like an edge who kind of hates Jonah Hill
LL Cool J and Toys.
and isn't giving him a chance, kind of a thing. You know, it's just not. It doesn't. It just. He's almost too lovable for the guy he was playing. He's supposed
Okay.
to be playing like some like Black Panther, like, you know, and it's just like you. Every time you see him, you're like, you're Eddie,
Eddie
Murphy.
Murphy,
Right?
sure.
Yeah.
He's all, how old is Eddie Murphy now? Got to be
65?
damn near.
70.
No, he's 70 years old?
I mean, the 90s were a million years ago.
62. Like, he is a 62-year-old man. I know that, like, it seems younger now that we're in our 40s, but.
Well, he's younger just by being Eddie Murphy.
True, but he's not. He's biologically 62 years old, and that.
When's he going to get back into a singing career?
Never.
No,
He's done.
So at 62,
He's pretty decent singer.
Yeah.
like you're not even as good of a chess player because of your age. Like there's you
Good.
know-
I don't even like chess.
well, I'm just saying, like, so you can't be as good as you were when you were 25, and so no matter what, something's going to be a little bit off at 62.
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah,
to
but
do
you can be
anything.
as good once as you ever were.
I don't think
Mickey.
you can.
Let's try this voicemail. Ready?
Hey everyone, this is BDM Small Wiener Air Force Ian. I was listening to show 708 and you guys were talking about whether or not you've ever stolen from your work before. And I don't know if this makes me a bad person, but one time we went on a little work trip over to Vegas and one of our buddies, he managed the unit's like snack bar And they sell like a whole bunch of stuff there. It's not just snacks. They have like t-shirts. They have koozies with like the unit's logo on it, the unit coin, all that kind of stuff. And so whenever we weren't busy, we would go hang out with our buddy. And whenever someone would come in and ask like, hey, how much is a monster or something like that, we would joke around. We'd look at the person and be like, it's on the house. You know, we were just like trying to kind of get our friend in trouble, you know, just kind of be a pain in the ass to him. So this went on like the whole time. We were there like 2 weeks. Every time someone come in, hey, can I get a koozie? How much is that? Hey, it's on the house. Hey, just messing around with them. And by the like end of the 2 weeks, my buddy he was sick of it. He was over it. So people would come in, they'd ask, we'd go, it's on the house, it's free. And it just got to the point he was like, you know what? I don't fucking care. And he started like, it devolved into full chaos. People just coming in, just taking stuff. And so I ended up leaving that trip with like 3 of our coins, 7 of our koozies, a stupid lanyard, which I guess, you know, I don't know. I guess it counts as stealing. I don't know. I don't know if that makes me a fucked up person, but.
Oh my God.
I appreciate
What are you doing?
I appreciate our American Armed Forces. Maybe it's just me, but people I know in the Armed Forces are the worst storytellers ever. They take way too long to tell a story that is not worth it to begin with, almost uniformly across the board.
Less stories, more fighting.
I do like uniformly across the board. I got what you were doing there. That's very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just a lot of military waste, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of we didn't need all of that.
Oh, the grist would tell me about in the Air Force, he'd get a new Benchmade super high quality pocket knife.
Oh, Benchmade Infidel, great knife.
Every year, where the
is a
point
good knife.
he had his drawer full of them, and he'd give them out as Christmas presents. And then he's like, I don't need one of these every year. It was like, I have, the one you gave me the prior 3 years.
Yeah.
And then the full Kim suit that they'd get, there was like $1,000 or whatever. And then they give you that one every year or whatever. Like so much, the duffel bags, all the gear, and it just thousands of dollars of stuff that you end up losing or giving away. So it's insane.
I just,
waste.
I almost cursed like that guy. I got interested in who the most famous Ross McCoy ever was recently. And so I Googled Ross McCoy, and it turns out it's this guy, Frank Ross McCoy. And he wrote basically the military manual that they used like right up until World War I. Like right until the invention of like artillery and stuff. This was like the Army manual to go by. And at the end, it's just a list of like all the stuff an enlisted man should have and that an officer should have. And it's all this weird stuff like a piece of chalk, a whistle, like it's all this weird old timey stuff.
Old men used to have a bunch of little things like you got to keep a fishing hook in your pocket. You
and
never
some
know when you're going to need fish.
Man, like the
I come from a long family of pocket knife people. Are you a pocket knife person?
My father was, and my grandfather.
My dad was
but
a
I
pocket
never.
knife guy. You're a pocket knife guy.
Absolutely.
I know.
I go through phases. I'm out of one right now.
Because of my disability, I cannot own things like that.
Yeah.
Because I would just lose them, like my glasses or whatever else.
Thank you for your service.
I cannot keep something every day in my pocket and without losing it.
What is the official name of that disability? Soft brain?
I don't think you can say soft brain anymore.
Okay.
You just performed
I believe it's a mega dum-dum.
This is what it is. This is what it is.
You got an email over there, Sam?
Recently, you mentioned Little House on the Prairie.
Yes. Oh, I love Little House on the
man,
Prairie.
perfect day for you to be here.
Yes, amazing.
I was a giant fan of Little House, and I stand by that as a grown-ass man. My parents were kind of strict Christians, so they were really careful with what we watched, but they gave their full blessing, of course, to Little House.
So did my mom and dad.
It was a great show and had drama, comedy, tales of woe, heartache, romance, death, and a couple of episodes about being an alcoholic, Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, there were a bunch of episodes about guys having to struggle with, substance abuse.
They had an episode where Charles knew he had a bad problem, so he took him out to a cabin in the middle of the woods, and for several days he detoxed.
Yeah, he's sweating, and
he had the delirium tremors and everything. I read all of the books also, which were also much darker and more realistic portrayal of frontier life. The only reason anyone, usually macho guys, crap on Little House on the Prairie is the title is pretty soft, and the opening and closing scenes and the music were also soft. like 10-ply Charmin Soft. If it was called Pioneer Survivors or something, nobody would say anything bad. Do you remember how they ended the series? They blew the whole town of Walnut Grove up. I think the storyline was the town was built on land that someone else owned, so they were forced off their land, but they were not going to let the big rich guy or corporation have all their houses, so they blew up everything.
It's kind of parallel to what actually happened. They had just like kind of claim jumped. Like they had gotten word that at that point you could settle so far, and the rest was quote unquote Indian territory.
Okay.
And so they settled in Indian territory and had to move back east a ways at a certain point.
What was the name of the town? It was
Walnut Grove.
Walnut Grove.
Did you know that they constructed the whole set for the town in Simi Valley, California, which is why if you pay attention to a lot of the outdoor scenes, it always looks kind of dry and arid and not much like Minnesota.
Yeah,
it
you're
did
right.
look dry.
Yeah, it always looked like California.
So it was essentially a Western kind of.
I've never seen the show. Never seen the show. I only know the books.
Really? You never watched the show?
You would like it. You would like it. It's very good. They did a very good job with it. And Michael Landon.
Yeah, Michael Landon.
What
was
year?
80s.
No, I'm saying was it set in?
Oh.
It's I want to say post Civil War, but I could be
think it is
wrong
post-Civil
about that.
War.
It could be pre Civil War actually.
I think
The
it's
books,
post.
drama series revolve around the 1870s.
Okay, so yeah, just
Okay.
after Civil War.
So
it was great, man.
And it's
like
they're just pushing west to settle and like find. Pa doesn't like if he can see. Pa's the dad. He doesn't like if he can see a neighbor's chimney smoke. The minute like somebody builds a log cabin 10 miles away, you're gonna see the chimney smoke. They're heading west.
Oh yeah, that's too close.
get out of here.
And then the subtext is like Pa was kind of a no good Nick. He like wasn't good at farm and he could never make any money. And then the one time he does get a crop up, the grasshoppers just eat it all. So
It would
like,
break your heart too, man. There would be these scenes where Melissa Gilbert, who played Laura Ingalls Wilder, would like they'd be learning the quintessential coming of age lessons of like, well, Pa had a pig that was needed to be slaughtered. They had it for a while. It was Laura's best friend. She'd go out and read books to it, and then he had to kill it because they needed food because they didn't do good during the winter. And she'd be crying and say, "But you said that we could keep it."
See, that's some TV show nonsense because in the book, it's not. It's the first one is called Cabin in the Big Woods, I think, which is where they start. There's a pig slaughter scene in that, and Laura's all about it because she wants some delicious bacon. And then Pa is like, "Here you go, girl. Here's a toy." He pulls the bladder out of the pig, blows it up, and lets her play with it like a balloon. That's the book.
Yeah, they do give you a little difference.
Yeah.
Hard living back.
Go play with your bladder.
I'll talk about Little House on the Prairie all day. You want to talk about my favorite Little House on the Prairie moment? Pa comes back with some honey, and they're like, "Pa, how'd you find this honey?" He followed a bear to a stump full of honey, chased the bear away with a stick, and then harvested the honey. And Laura goes, "Pa, why didn't you get stung?" And he looks her right in the eye and goes, "Bees don't sting me, Laura."
That's a good answer.
Sam,
Shut up and eat your honey. How about that?
He fought a bear with a stick successfully.
I saw this TikTok clip of some guy I have no idea, but he was like dressed like a pioneer, and he was explaining some like history misinformation.
Was it Scott York on the streets of St. Augustine?
No.
I've been seeing him. He's everywhere. He's
The
dressed
mystery
like
box.
He's just like a tiny soldier.
And he was saying that how we all hear like, oh, the mean age of adults in the 1800s or whatever was 30 years old, but he was explaining, and I have no idea if this is true. Again, this is how misinformation spreads.
Starts
because
on TikTok.
Too lazy to look it up myself. I just see it and I skip on scrolling. But it kind of made sense. He said the reason why the mean is 30 is because there was so much of an infant death rate.
Yeah.
Like a lot of infants died before they reached the age of 2 because of one reason or other. Your
So
body's
it
so
raises
weak.
the age.
So therefore, it brings the mean down to 30s. And then once you got past infancy and got into like being a kid or whatever, got past that stage, then your normal lifespan that we know of today was probably the norm. Like I don't
Closer
know, 76.
probably closer to like 60s.
You
but
were
yeah.
like 50s or 60s.
Interesting.
But when you hear that the mean is 30, I thought like people are literally dying in their 30s mostly.
It literally is the point where like doctors learn to start washing their hands. Honest to God, like they just didn't understand germ theory and stuff like that. And once doctors start washing their hands before they like deliver a baby, saw your leg off,
Yeah,
or whatever.
medical procedure.
Survival and infant mortality stuff just shoots way up.
Yeah, like penicillin was a huge one. People just dying of toothaches and stuff like that. But they knew enough to like yank your tooth out before, like when it started hurting, like, oh, you know,
pull the thing that hurts out.
yeah, you're gonna die. But so anyway, that was interesting to me.
That is interesting
because
again, if that guy got into your mouth with like some fingers where he like,
God.
there's horse crap everywhere in this time period too. So like this guy gets in there, you got like just horse crap festering away in a hole in your jaw. You know, that guy learns to wash his hands. It's a whole new ballgame.
I was talking to a friend that had a surgery recently, and now they tell you to bathe in this surgical soap right before your whole body, and then clean sheets the night before, then bathe before in the surgical soap. You have to buy at Publix before, all the stuff to prevent any sort of anything getting into.
I show up in my pajama pants.
yeah. But so that's how careful you have to be. Like, could you imagine just 1800s.
Picking up the saw, you just sawed another guy's leg off with it, haven't even rinsed off.
You wipe it off on your flannel.
Just go right to it.
Yeah. No one ever thought, like, man, a lot of these people are dying later of something.
You know, that makes me a weirdo because I would think about that when I was watching like samurai or ninja movies. The samurai would stab somebody and then he'd take that sword, he'd wipe his sword on his pants, and I'd be like, that is disgusting and you're going to get infected.
Well, the classy samurai uses the dead body.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, and like if you got any sort of gunshot wound and the bullet was still in you, or like the arrow, whatever, and it was a death sentence. Well, like they knew, like once the fever came, dead, and like is basically.
Oh my God! Dude, whisper that.
There was no.
Don't say that out loud so I can hear it.
But there was no way.
Once the fever comes, he's as good as dead.
Well, it's infection. And
it's gonna be laying in bed tonight, feeling his forehead until he falls asleep.
But we can fight infection easily now with antibiotics. You know, it's like
not my infections.
But they didn't have it back then, so it was like, oh, fever, dead. Like you weren't gonna survive whatever infection you had. Impossible.
And
do you have one more email, Sam?
Sure.
We got time for one more.
Tom and spirituality. Greetings, T&D Media. Back in the morning show days, Tom used to be pretty adamant that if and when he had kids, nothing would change and he would still be the same stone-cold robot he always was.
But now he's accepted Jesus. It's all different.
Changed the whole show.
Even as other cast members with kids told him otherwise, Tom maintained his opinion. I would think and hope that...
What? That don't sound like the Tom I know.
This is fake news.
I would think and hope that based on his experience and relationships with his sons, he could admit that he was wrong.
That's where the first part, yes, is correct. The second part is wrong. He'll never admit that he's wrong. He does admit
about
that
what? Spirituality?
With that in mind, is it possible for Tom to envision a point in time much later in life when he is elderly, has grandkids or even great-grandkids, and is staring down death and his mortality, that he may embrace a level of spirituality?
Let's just reduce that to, can Tom imagine the future? No.
I'm not implying anything about God in the traditional religious sense, but maybe just an embracing of some kind of higher power.
Him with tiny shorts and his balls hanging out, picking up grandkids?
That may provide a sense of peace and acceptance of our fate as humans. I think that statistically measurable number of people who identify as atheists in their younger years embrace some form of spirituality in their twilight.
Oh boy, I love anybody who says I think and then makes up a number.
A North Carolina studio founder.
I see what they're saying.
This guy's a good dude. Thank you for your email. Good email.
The problem, the paradox to me of this, because I agree with you. A lot of people do have that and start softening, and I. When I was younger, I was like, "What is this? This seems ridiculous."
What the hell is this?
And then I realized that I was like, "Let people do whatever they want, believe whatever they want. Who cares?" You know. And then, but for myself, the paradox is, yes, is it reassuring that when you know you're staring death in the face, thinking, well, I don't know, because no one does, and I will say that. No one knows absolutely, even the atheists, whatever. It's the lack of evidence that makes you an atheist, right? So you don't know what it is, but you don't know what it could be, or there's no proof that it is anything, so it's just you don't know. And then it's like, but because you don't know, it's not like that proves that there could be something. It's just...
we could go back to the airborne theory, where if you believe it, then it exists.
It could work for you.
Sure.
I mean, I would say it's case by case.
So what good does it do, except for saying, I don't know what's going to happen? Yeah, I think everybody could say that.
No one knows about the future.
We're all going to die. We know that.
We do know that.
So when I...
So is there not peace in that? In the I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's to
It's
me.
like, you know what the final chapter is, right? Everyone's gonna die.
But to me,
Can't stop that.
the piece is your computer turns off. So like that's like I know that
Some people's piece goes further on.
Yeah.
Like I'll finally be, able to
Reunited,
see
yeah.
my loved ones again. I'll finally, any pain that I have in my body will go away. I mean,
And the preponderance of evidence suggests that Tom is right, because everything in your body that you experience is governed by electrical impulses in your brain. When you die, they stop, and so does
it's
everything.
like your switch, but it's a different one.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Not the same one.
like looking at a picture before you were born. And like there's some famous philosopher that it says this about like it didn't terrify me looking at a picture that of a time that it didn't exist. Right? It's the same thing in the future. There's like a time you won't exist.
I believe
I think that just changed my life.
I think that was the famous philosopher Ninja.
Now,
From Twitch?
Yeah.
Now, video game.
He's deep.
believe whatever you want that makes you feel better, but for me,
I will not believe whatever I want.
it's like, how am I supposed?
Tell me what to believe.
I can't force myself. It's like Ross forcing to believe in airborne, and therefore it's going to work for him. It can't work because you already know.
You already know.
So
Wrong. Well, I know that it works if I believe, so I believe, so it works. I don't understand how you don't understand this.
But it doesn't work.
But if you took it and were having a bad day,
Yes.
and you didn't believe it, if you're like, I don't think it's working today, would it not
It
work?
would just be some fizzy water.
Okay,
My
there
vitamin,
you
my
go.
pee would be yellow.
That
That'd
clears
be
it up.
Yep.
That clears it up.
But everybody should believe whatever they want to believe that makes their lives better.
It's
We
in
could
the
all agree on that.
Constitution.
It's like, whatever helps you the most, therefore, it
You know
doesn't
what
hurt
helps me
anybody
the
else.
most? My wife. Because
Yeah.
I am helpless.
It's but having kids and me getting older, I don't foresee me having any sort of change.
It didn't make me more spiritual having Maisie. I mean, it did make me cherish, and it made me obviously I'm very grateful for what I have and very grateful for the relationships that I have, and I love my family with all my heart, but it didn't it didn't make me believe in God more, but it did make me think of my mom and dad and the relationships I have within my family as being more valuable to me.
It did make me less afraid of dying, and this is maybe a narcissistic belief, but because my DNA is now in my sons and they're a part of me.
That is weird. That is a weird thing. I know a lot of people believe that, but that is a weird thing.
It is weird.
I don't even think you really choose that one because I can feel that a little bit. Like
that's evolution because
it's not anything that I would even articulate. Like when Tom says it, I even look at him. I'm like, that's gross, but I feel it. I know exactly what you're talking about. I feel less scared to die.
It makes me feel that I'll somehow live on through my kids because they're part of me.
Right.
It's a weird thing. It makes no sense
I owned
whatsoever.
it. Now suck my tongue. Suck my tongue.
Oh,
now,
man.
having kids
Llama!
having
We'll
kids
get you, llama.
having kids didn't make you
Damn
guys
pedophile llama, we're coming for you.
having kids didn't make you guys reconsider the God of it all, because like when you do make another human being, there's like
I feel like a god.
well, no, there's a part of it that you can't explain. When the I don't know if I can say this on the room, when the spermatozoa meets the egg and
can say
that
that.
and
It's
that comes together and starts growing, that's magic. That is basically magic. It's inexplicable. You can't make it happen under laboratory conditions. Nobody really knows what that little crucial spark is that happens. And I'm not saying that there is a God in a heaven because of that. It just made me say, like, there's some stuff that we just don't
have the
understand.
answers for.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, then you can start getting
There's some
into
gross stuff too. It's like, yuck, that's disgusting.
like you start going down a rabbit hole of simulations, and because our technology is advancing, like this makes.
You know what my thing about the simulation is? If we are in a simulation, we all entered the simulation and we checked that box that said don't know about the simulation. So stop worrying about it. Even if you're in a simulation, you got in the simulation.
Can't get out now.
You made the conscious decision to
Yeah.
not know that
I'm
you're in a
okay with
simulation.
it. I'm okay with the simulation.
Dude,
Sure.
even
Pretty
going
good. I'd say you guys did a nice job
Can I
with it.
change mine a little bit?
Yeah, the graphics are great.
going to the science center and just looking how big the universe is, and how just like it's
That rattled me a little
insane.
bit when we were looking through that telescope.
It's
It kind of messed me up a little bit.
When you can see a pinpoint of light in the sky and know that that's a galaxy comprised of just more stars than you can even think of, and it's like so far away that it's like literally the size
it
of
makes
your
you
fingernail.
not want to think about that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, give me some cartoons.
Well, it
I
makes
need
you accept
something
the fact
dumb.
that there's stuff that you are just beyond, that is beyond you. You cannot comprehend the entire entirety of everything.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I mean,
Tom.
I
I know that's the news to you.
No. Listen, I'm the same way. It's impossible to even comprehend. But can we all agree just to make it worth it while we're here?
We
Like
actually
that's the
can't.
only thing
No,
that
we've been trying to for thousands of years, and we
No.
can't. There's
Yeah,
always one
yeah.
guy that's
Like,
like, it's my way. None of you can do anything except my way. There's always one guy.
Yeah, like enjoy your life, treat people good. You know, like,
treat yourself.
No, I made up a sky man, and you either acknowledge him or I'll kill you with my sword. Always one guy.
Yeah, man, it's been like that for thousands of years.
Just trying to make this world better.
No, I carved
Make your life
a
better,
pig
this
out
guy.
of pink quartz, and you either make sacrifice to it or I'll stab you with my spear.
Stop hurting people.
Some say that I have the body of a pink pig carved out of quartz.
All
Oh,
right,
sorry.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye. Yay, that was good.
That was a pretty good one.
People are losing their shit about the weed tray and grinder. When are we
Because it's fucking
selling
awesome.
those?
That's why they should lose their shit. It's probably one of the
Are we
best things we've ever put
putting
out.
them on sale on 420.
I thought you were,
or-
right? Because you want them up before we go to the event.
Well, that's on the 22nd.
Right, because they'll already be over.
But don't people want them for 420?
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying.
what I was thinking. Because Eric has them. I was gonna put them up possibly
gonna
on
stand?
Friday.
That is Monday the
so he can,
17th, 1 and 2.
Get a week
I'll-
to get it out.
Although we're not gonna be able to get anything out because
Right.
Monday is gonna be such a butt fuck.
Is Tuesday too advantageous?
We could put them. We could put them up.
You don't smoke
tomorrow.
weed, EJ. EJ's like, I didn't get a grinder and a roller. You don't do anything.
We could put
Also,
it up.
aren't you at work?
I mean, technically. I'll get you a gift, EJ.
We can put it up tomorrow so we can start sending them out so people get them.
Are we recording more?
No, that's it.
I do need an intro.
Bye, guys.